Hello and welcome to Cheap Tool Reviews. Sitting in front of me is a Husky toolbox that I did a toolbox tour of in one of my previous videos. This is my home toolbox that I use pretty much exclusively for home use, working on my car, other stuff like that, If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out, along with another video where I used the tools in these toolbox. That is also linked down in the description. Now, I don't want to have too long of an intro, so without further ado, let me introduce to you the Ryobi HP 1 Plus brushless half-inch impact wrench. It has 600 foot-pounds of breakaway torque, 450 foot-pounds of fastening torque, and 3,200 impacts per minute. Now, you might be wondering why I'm reviewing this tool and why this tool is in the condition that it appears to be. Well, it obviously does not look like a new tool. It looks like a very well-used tool. And just to give you a quick background, I am a diesel apprentice. I'm a certified diesel technician. And this tool I've had for 2 years. I've used it outside in the rain when I was a mobile fleet mechanic for a little bit. I've used it in the shop all the time. I can't say that I've taken off bolts that were torqued to 600 foot-pounds because, I mean, honestly, who's going to use a mid-torque for that? If you're going to take something off that's torqued to 600 foot-pounds, you're not using a mid-torque. You're going to be using a big 1-inch gun. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. When you have a semi-truck lug nut that's torqued to 450 foot-pounds, no one's going to take their half-inch mid-torque impact wrench and take those off all day. They might do it once just for fun to see if the impact wrench will do it, but you're not going to be using that on a day-to-day basis in that sort of environment, like taking off lug nuts that are torqued to 450 foot-pounds. That's just not going to happen. I mean, mid-torques are not designed for that. And so, as most people know, the Ryobi tool brand is, in general, a DIY brand. However, all of their, well, not all, but most of the new tools that they're releasing are of the HP line. And it might not be obvious, but HP stands for high performance. And they are marketed to the prosumer or professionals. They're not marketed as DIY tools anymore. And today I'm going to try to persuade you to believe that their marketing isn't just marketing, it's actually fact. That these tools are not just DIY tools, they can be used on the job professionally. And I will say that this tool, I've had it for 2 years. The warranty on it is 3 years. If it breaks after 3 years, am I gonna buy a new one? Yes, I'm gonna buy a new one. I'm gonna get another Ryobi impact wrench because these things really do the job. They like anything that a normal that any other mid torque half-inch impact wrench can do, this can also do. I am dead serious. This thing is a mid-torque impact wrench. It falls right in there with all the other mid-torque impact wrenches from Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, etc., and so on. Like, this tool is the real deal. Even if you don't believe me, I'm telling you, as a diesel apprentice, I have used this thing day in and day out. I have given it a very severe duty life, a severe duty cycle in its life. Like, it is gone through a lot of wear and tear. I'm going to be cleaning this in this video to give you an overview of what kind of exterior damage it has been under. What I've done to it, I guess. But yeah, I don't abuse my tools. I use them the way that they're intended to be used. And this is the wear and tear that this tool has received. Now, that is one thing that I'll say, is that the exterior of this tool has not held up as well as some other impact wrenches would have. But honestly, that's the only flaw. For real, like, this thing, it has all the power that you need. It has durability, like, as far as, like, longevity. This thing, I've had it for 2 years. I've used it for 2 years, and it has not failed me once. I mean, it's not even past its warranty yet, and honestly, I think it's going to go past its warranty, and it's going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good tool. And I mean, I guess the review is done, right? I mean, that's all I got to say for it. I mean, I'm kidding, but yeah, I mean, it's a really good tool. It's I don't really know what else to say about that. I mean, it's honestly one of the better impacts. I mean, this tool, this has been the only impact that I've used in my whole career. Like, the only impact, not the only impact that I've used, but only one that I can call my own. I've used this thing constantly, and it's held up, and it's going to keep holding up. And the price of it, I got it as a kit. Currently, the kit that Home Depot is offering is $189, or you can buy the tool bare for $169. But I would definitely go with the kit, because the kit comes with a battery and a charger. And let's be honest, you're not going to get a Milwaukee mid-torque impact wrench with a battery and a charger for $180 or $190, however you want to look at it. You're just not. And let me show you this real quick. It's got the lights right there. That's a Milwaukee thing. Milwaukee does that, having the lights right at the anvil instead of down here or down here. Milwaukee does this, and Ryobi is copying that and doing it just like them, which is great, because that's what you want. I mean, look how bright that is, man. That's really good. And another thing that I'll say is, like I said about the 3,200 impacts per minute, I wasn't lying to you. That thing's got some power. So, I don't care what anyone says about Ryobi not being a good brand. From my experience, from me using this tool for 2 years, say hi to my dog. For me using this tool for 2 years, it's been a good tool. It hasn't failed me once. It's a really good tool. Now, I will show you some of the cosmetic defects on it that have occurred due to me just using it on a daily basis, and I'm going to try to clean it up with just some Dawn dish soap. I don't know if that's really going to work, but I've got Dawn dish soap on this rag here. Apparently not very much. Basically, there's the anvil right there. Not the anvil, but the head has had some damage to it. You can see that. Just some scraping. Nothing major, really. Around the lights, it's got a little bit of damage. Nothing major. It's fared pretty well, honestly. This thing is so dirty, I'm not going to get any of that off. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to. See where that says Ryobi, that's been kind of damaged a little bit. But all this is cosmetic, really. I mean, it doesn't matter. The rubber backing here has suffered a little bit, but nothing major, honestly. Like, everything that this thing has, all the damage that this thing has taken, none of it is major. There used to be numbers down here, and they fell off for some reason, and this button is a little bit pushed in. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it still works. It's got 1, 2, and 3, and then auto mode. And then this battery is the original battery that it came with in the pack 2 years ago. And it's held up great. Right now it's got 2 bars on it, because I didn't bring my charger with me when I took it home to review it. I mean, it's all in all, it is a really good tool, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is looking at buying their first impact wrench, or maybe looking to upgrade. Or, I mean, some people would look at this as downgrading because you're getting a cheaper impact wrench, but really, you know, I mean, compared to some things. But this is definitely an upgrade from like Hyper Tough or Heart, you know, I'll say that for sure. That those, don't get those. Just don't. I've had some very bad experience with Hyper Tough. I would not recommend them. But Ryobi, honestly, dead honest truth of what my opinion is, you can rank this right up there with DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, Rigid. This is a contender to be a really good professional tool. And if you guys want to see more content like this, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm going to be, I'm thinking about doing a video on taking this apart and showing you how the interior has held up after these 2 years. I'll show you the exterior. Now let's look at the anvil and the anvil's right here, but let's look at the hammer mechanism and all that and see how that's held up. Give it some grease and see if that changes the performance at all. I don't know if that affects the warranty or not, but let me know down in the comments if you're interested in seeing something like that. I can also do video of this piece of equipment in action, this tool. So let me know down in the comments if you would like to see something like that. And that's all I've got to say about this tool. It's a great tool, and I would recommend it to anyone who is looking for a low-cost alternative to Milwaukee or DeWalt. And one more thing I wanted to throw in about this tool is the way it feels in your hand, because I know that is very important for a lot of people. And I will say that this tool is actually, it has some weight to it. It's not a cheap, it's a low-cost tool, but it's not a cheap tool. There's difference. It's not a cheaply made tool. It's got a lot of weight to it. But it's not top heavy. You can see I can hold it just like that. I can hold it right in the, well, not right in the center. It's a tiny bit top heavy, but not much. Not much at all, you know? The anvil side of it is heavier than the rest of it, and that's why if you put it down like this and you have a big socket on it, it'll topple over. But it's not that it's nothing major that you're gonna notice, and really, I would say it's a pretty good weight. It's a pretty good balance to it because you don't want it to be. I mean, you don't want the top to be so light that you can't go to get a good balance on it. You want to be able to get it whatever angle you need to get it at. And another thing that is pretty important is runtime. And I will say that this thing has an excellent runtime. If you're using it just how you normally use a mid-torque impact wrench to just take off anything that's torqued below, I don't know, whatever, 200 foot-pounds, I'm not sure. It'll last you all day. It'll last you multiple days in a row. It'll last you the whole week. Like, seriously, the battery is really good, and it doesn't lose power as the battery drains. Like, that's something I've seen with some really cheap tools like Hypertough, where the battery life, when the battery life decreases, the tool performance decreases along with it. But this tool, all the way down to 1 bar, it performs well. It performs really well, all the way down to 1 bar. Now the bolt that I would say that I've taken off that's like the highest torque that I know of was a bolt that was torqued to 375 foot-pounds, and I know it was torqued to that because I torqued it myself, and this thing had no trouble taking that off. There have been other bolts that I've taken off that I don't know what they would torque to because I didn't torque them. And there's also other things to consider, like the rust around the bolts and the dirt and the grind that's in the threads. Like, that all affects how well this thing will take it off. But yeah, that's just my little 2 cents that I want to add in there. And again, thank you for watching this video.